Maloelele. The story of the ancient origin of the Tongan people is a rich blend of oral tradition, mythology, and archaeology, shedding light on the migration, culture, and development of one of the oldest Polynesian societies in the Pacific. The earliest known ancestors of the Tongan people are linked to the Lapita people, an ancient seafaring culture that is believed to have originated in Southeast Asia. Around 1500 BC, these people began migrating eastward across the Pacific, settling in various island chains. The Lapita were master navigators and ocean voyagers, known for their distinctive pottery, intricate designs, and advanced knowledge of the ocean currents and stars. Archaeological evidence shows that the Lapita people reached Tonga around 900 BC, settling primarily on the islands of Tonga, Tapu, and Niue. They brought with them agricultural techniques, fishing skills, and social structures that laid the foundation for Tongan society. Over time, the Lapita people in Tonga began to develop their own unique culture, which would evolve into the Tongan identity. By around 1000 AD, the Tongan society had grown into a highly organized and stratified society with complex political and religious structures. This period marks the development of the classical Tongan society and the emergence of what is now known as the Tuʻi Tonga Empire. The Tuʻi Tonga Empire was one of the most influential and powerful kingdoms in the Pacific region. According to Tongan oral tradition, the first Tuʻi Tonga, the king of Tonga, was a man named Ahoetu, who was said to have been the son of the god Tangaloa and a human woman. His divine parentage gave the Tuʻi Tonga a sacred status, and subsequent kings were considered semi-divine rulers, intermediaries between the gods and the people. Under the leadership of the Tuʻi Tonga kings, Tonga expanded its influence, establishing an empire that stretched across much of Polynesia, including parts of Samoa, Fiji, and the Cook Islands. The empire was maintained through both military power and a complex system of tribute and alliances with neighboring islands. This period, known as the Tongan Maritime Empire, made Tonga a center of trade, politics, and culture in the Pacific. The mythology of Tonga speaks of gods, demigods, and supernatural beings who played significant roles in the creation of the islands and people. One of the most important gods in Tongan mythology is Tangaloa, the god of the sky and creator of the islands. According to legend, Tangaloa sent his son, Ahoetu, from the heavens to rule over Tonga, establishing the royal lineage of the Tuʻi Tonga. The myth of the origin of the Tongan people involves the god Tangaloa looking down from the heavens and noticing the beautiful islands of Tonga. He sent down one of his sons to live among the people, and this son became the first king. Thus, the Tongans view themselves as direct descendants of the gods, which instilled a strong sense of pride, divinity, and authority in their kings. Other gods and figures from Tongan mythology include Maui, a demigod who was known across Polynesia for his trickery and feats, such as fishing up islands from the ocean. Maui is also believed to have played a role in shaping the Tongan landscape. The Tuʻi Tonga Empire reached its height between the 12th and 15th centuries. This empire was both feared and respected throughout Polynesia, with its influence reaching as far as Niue, Samoa, and Fiji. The Tongan kings used their naval prowess and diplomacy to create a vast network of alliances and tribute relationships. The capital of the Tuʻi Tonga Empire was located in Mua, on the island of Tonga Tapu. The kings and chiefs of Tonga were buried in elaborate stone tombs called langi, which can still be seen today. These burial mounds were an important symbol of the power and divine nature of the Tuʻi Tonga kings. During this period, Tonga became known as the Friendly Islands because of its reputation for welcoming visitors and traders from other parts of Polynesia. However, this friendliness was coupled with a strong warrior culture that defended Tongan interests and maintained the empire's territorial integrity. By the 16th century, the Tuʻi Tonga Empire began to decline. Internal struggles, the increasing influence of other Polynesian islands, and external pressures contributed to this decline. As the empire weakened, the position of the Tuʻi Tonga became more ceremonial, while real political and military powers shifted to a new line of kings, the Tuʻi Ha'atakalawa. The Tuʻi Ha'atakalawa ruled as the secular rulers of Tonga, while the Tuʻi Tonga retained religious authority. This division of power helped to stabilize Tonga for a time, But the empire never regained the vast territorial control it once had. The focus of the kingdom shifted inward, with the Tongan people continuing to develop their unique culture, language, and customs. European explorers first came into contact with Tonga in the 17th century. Abel Tasman, a Dutch explorer, was the first European to visit Tonga in 1643, but it was Captain James Cook who made Tonga famous in the West during his visits in the 1770s. Cook visited Tonga multiple times and gave it the nickname the Friendly Islands, due to the warm reception he received from the Tongan people. However, Cook's interpretation of the Tongan people as friendly was somewhat misleading. According to Tongan oral history, there were plots to kill Cook and his men during one of his visits, but the plan was never executed due to internal disagreements among the Tongan chiefs. The 19th century was a turbulent period for Tonga, marked by civil wars and the increasing influence of Western missionaries. In the mid-19th century, a powerful Tongan leader named Taufa'ahau, later known as King George II, united the islands under his rule. He converted to Christianity and worked closely with the missionaries to establish a Christian kingdom. In 1875, King George II established Tonga's first written constitution, abolishing the traditional system of serfdom and enacting significant legal reforms. He is remembered as the founder of modern Tonga, and his dynasty continues to rule the country to this day. The Tongan language, Lea Whakatonga, is a Polynesian language closely related to Samoan and Hawaiian, reflecting the ancient connections between these Pacific cultures. Tongan culture places a strong emphasis on respect for family, especially for elders, and has a complex system of social hierarchy based on kinship and chiefly status. Traditional Tongan society was structured around the Fahu system, in which sisters and their descendants held a higher status than their brothers, leading to a matrilineal aspect in Tongan inheritance and social order. Chiefs and nobles, particularly from the royal Tuʻi Tonga line, were held in the highest regard, and this stratification of society continues to influence Tonga's social structure today. The ancient origins of the Tongan people are rooted in the broader migrations of the Lapita people, who settled the Pacific Islands and gave rise to the Polynesian cultures. Over centuries, the Tongan people developed a powerful and expansive empire under the Tuʻi Tonga kings, deeply interwoven with their myths, gods, and legendary leaders. Even after the decline of their empire, the Tongan people maintained their cultural identity, blending ancient traditions with modern influences to become the vibrant society they are today. Tonga's history is one of resilience, adaptation, and profound connection to their Polynesian roots and the vast ocean that both isolated and connected them to the wider world. And that's the incredible story of the origins of the Tongan people. From legendary voyagers to a thriving kingdom, Tonga's rich heritage continues to inspire today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories from around the world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Malo Alpito. Alua.